What's going on, guys? Before you start this video, just wanted to give you guys a quick disclaimer. We are brand new to Portals. We don't know much information about them, so we're going to be learning this process with you as we go through the series. So we already installed both sets. We do have both trucks here. So the next couple of videos will showcase what we went through, what was missing, what was needed, who we spoke with, and things of that nature. So just keep an open mind as you go in through this, because we're not experts at this. It was something that I wanted to do, not just for myself, but for you guys, because there's a lot of questions out there about the Portals. They became something that's kind of hot out in the community right now, and it's really answering the questions whether is it the next thing that we should be doing instead of like a long travel kit, things of that nature, and then obviously how they change the drivability of a vehicle, right? So we're going to be testing MPGs, how it does rock crawling, how it does in the desert. We're going to try to take it in as many weather situations as we can. We should be getting snow here in California soon, I hope, and we'll bring them out and showcase how they work. I've seen a few videos from Werewolf. I've seen people with 74s actually wheel their stuff. There is other companies like Portal Pros. You can also build your own setup. These are the two main companies that are out right now. I know that our Bronco is the first Bronco here in the US that has the Werewolves. There is a couple Tacomas. Obviously Limitless has his Lexus on them, and then the 74 Welds on our. So just keep in mind that these two are not the indefinite choice, but it is the two main ones, I believe, that are on the market. There is also the Tybus ones that came in hot and kind of took over the Bronco community when they first popped off. The good thing is we do also have a Tybus set that is on a 4-door, but because I wanted to keep this test as true as possible, we have two almost identical rigs, which we're going to be both using, so that way there is no ifs, ands, or buts about what we're doing. We're going to be airing both of them down the same PSI, going through the same obstacles, through the same amount of miles, going through the same intervals, and then hopefully 2 or 3 months from now we have an answer. A, is it worth it? Do we need Portals now instead of a regular suspension upgrade? Or B, are they just junk? You know, we really don't need them. We should probably just straight axle the world. Going to these episodes with that information, we're going to be learning as much as you guys are going to be learning. We'll take you through the process. So we're super excited to share these with you. Shout out to Johnny Dane, shout out to Shermanator, shout out to everybody that helped me through the process. But we're going to kick it off here, man. Unboxing these things was pretty awesome because obviously you guys know the price tag on them. But let's get into it. 74 Werewolf unboxing. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode here at Travel Motors. Today, we're out in Orange County. We're at Mr. Shermanator's house. Shout out to Shermanator for letting us borrow his place. So the day is finally here. Both badass Broncos, both 2-doors, both white, both very similar suspension, both triangulated, both on 38s, both Ford Performance wheels, and it's finally time, man. I've been talking about Portals for a while now. I've been talking about having the 74 Welds. I've been talking about grabbing Werewolves, and all of that is long gone now. We have both of them here. So today's episode is really going to go into like the unboxing, because they're very different how they come in, and just kind of break it down to you what we see, because we're dummies, honestly, man. It's not like we know all the ins and outs, the engineering behind them, but we're going to try to break them all down, see the differences that we see out of the box, and then just kind of show you what you're paying for. So the 74 Welds are like 20 grand, and then the Werewolves are about 15K. You know, that's a real wet price. Your taxes, shipping, all that stuff's gonna matter. 74 Welds are here in the US. They're based out of close to San Diego somewhere. And then the Werewolves are actually coming down from Ukraine. So they come in boxes. They are tariffs, all that shenanigans that comes with ordering stuff that's out of the country. But there is vendors here that already have them on deck. So it'll save you some of that if you find a vendor. But we are gonna do an unboxing. We're gonna show you some of the differences. We'll show you some of the pros and cons of what's gonna happen. And then we'll also show you what we're already running into with the Broncos just being on a bigger tire, because they're both on 38s now. And just to give you the heads up, you cannot fit 38s on a factory suspension without some serious rubbing, especially with the Ford Performance wheels. Maybe if you had some offset, it'll definitely help, body lift and those kind of things. But I don't recommend going that big of a tire. I think 37, 35 is a sweet spot depending on how hard you're driving. But today, it's all Portals. Portals for dummies. That's basically what we're gonna do, and just break down things that we don't even know about. This is the hot stuff out here in the US. People are putting Portals on race trucks. People are putting Portals on their dailies. Everything from Broncos to Tacomas, you name it. It's starting to happen everywhere. It's really expensive. So is this worth it versus your traditional build? We don't know. We're gonna test all of those theories, but today we're just gonna open up the box to show you what they come in, packaging, everything that's in each kit, and see if A, $5,000 really worth the difference, and B, to see what you get in these kits, man. So stick around. We're gonna get everything ready and start opening up some boxes. All right, team. So as promised, the boys are here. We are at Sherm's, but I'm gonna show you what the differences are just in packaging itself. So 74 is based here in the US, so maybe that's why they give you boxes, but I don't know, man. These things are kind of heavy. and people start stacking them. And if you get them shipped, I don't know how they work, but I'm sure that these boxes wouldn't be good enough to carry some of this. I mean, it's 20 grand, right? You would think a little bit better boxing would be nice. And I'm only basing it because Werewolf has some sick ass boxes. And I don't care, dude. You buy anything and it comes in a box with some stencils and paint, I don't know. That's a big plus for me. I mean, obviously these are being shipped across the country, so they have to be protected a lot more. And they probably be in cardboard boxes if they're in the US, but I don't know. Packaging, Werewolf 1, 74 well, 0. Alrighty, so we're opening up the front and the back. That way we can have a front and rear up here on the table. So we'll do the same thing with the 74s. So you can tell first things first is these are actual steel, and the ones from 74 Weld are nice billet stuff. Is always more expensive. And then these are getting shipped across seas, so they are packaged really nice, and that's why also they come in these crates. But yeah, we're digging into the back one. That's the other back one there. And these are pretty much labeled, so they have little zip ties, tells you what they are exactly so you don't make a mistake. We're gonna tear it all apart. We're also gonna show you if they come with instructions, anything of that nature, because this is a pretty big project. It's supposed to be relatively user-friendly to install from what they've been saying. But yeah, the boys are tearing up the werewolves first, and then we'll start looking at the other ones. All right, team, so we just broke all the packaging down, tore it all apart. That's the werewolf table. This is a 74 Weld table. We actually spent a couple hours getting some information on both of them. One big major difference, just to like point it out straight up, is Werewolf doesn't really have much information on their website. There is a guy that's selling them here in the States and is working on creating basically all the spreadsheets and stuff for installs and stuff. But if you were to get a set right now, you'd have to be, you know, basically talking to him to get everything installed correctly. But there is a lot less moving parts in this kit than there is in the 74 Weld kit. So we're going to talk about what each kit comes with, what it doesn't come with, what we still need to get for each kit. Because unfortunately, I mean, I'm going to be honest here, we're spending 20 grand here, 16 grand here, and I still got to go buy stuff. That's a little disappointing on my end. Don't you think, Johnny? We shouldn't be spending any extra money. Like, the kits already should be completed. And this one is a little bit more difficult to have a complete kit. I can understand where this one, so the things that we need for this kit specifically is oil, some gasket sealer, things of that nature. But this one does get shipped overseas, and it does go through customs. It does do a few things, but it'd be cool if it got to here and whoever's reselling them, that they give you the stuff you need, just so that way when you pay the kit, and this is expensive, you know, because it is a big purchase, that they do give you all that stuff, you know. So I'm sure that that's all in the works. Again, they're working on all the spreadsheets for the installs, things of that nature. Information wise, this one is out of the box right now. If you were to buy it, I think it lacks installation information. If you are not a complete like mechanic tech, you might have to take this to a shop and get it done, because they understand everything. But it's honestly pretty basic. If you understand IFS, you have a Bronco, you know that this is your upright, that's the portal box, a couple brake lines and things of that nature. There's really not much to it. Where this one, on this side, the 74 Weld's a little bit more in depth, like you know, double shear kits. We got things that we got to cut. We got brackets for the brake lines. We have breather kits. We have rotors. There's way more parts, where like that one doesn't even come with a bag of parts. Usually you see this on most installs, where that Werewolf kit, honestly, it looks like pretty plug and play. They both sell it as a kit you can pretty much do yourself. This one's going to take a lot more, but it is written online. You can go up and check out a link. So do have instructions you can follow. This one will take a little bit more time when it comes to like the complete setup, what you have to do with it. So this one does upgrade the studs, makes them a little bit stronger, which is good, but they do not include them. So you do have to order some studs so that fits this. It's the M14 1.5. So you'll have to get the, you know, the set for your Bronco. They do have basically every fluid. They do give you Loctite. They do give you all of that for this, but they don't even recommend you to use this one yet. So I guess in that sense, you still have to go buy a couple things when it comes to the complete installation of the kit. You'll need brake fluid. You'll need gear oil that you're going to drain after 200 miles and things like that. The kit's all here. You can see it. Honestly, these pieces are all pretty amazing. I mean, the cuts on the billet, these are not maybe as fancy, but they still look really stout. They're all braced. They're all pretty well made. I mean, there's no like ugly cuts anywhere. There's no ugly welding anywhere. It's all really nice. Now we'll go through some information of each kit, how they compare to each other, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna have Johnny Dang start breaking it down for you guys. All right, team, so I was trying to get Johnny Dang to do it, but you know what? He just said, I'm gonna be a mechanic today and I'm not gonna touch the camera. So with that being said, we're gonna give you some more information. We're gonna break down the werewolves first. First and foremost, these are gonna set you back about 16 grand. Yes, it sounds like a hefty price tag, but if we really break down how much like a long travel kit, suspension, to give you the benefits that a set of portals they're going to give you, you're going to get either pretty close or you're going to pass it just to get the strength, the reliability, and everything that a portal is supposed to give you. Now, I say supposed to because we haven't taken them out and we haven't beat them up yet. There is everybody that has them, raves about them, but honestly, I haven't seen anybody that really goes in and beats them up as frequently as we will, and also take them out, daily drive them, also go out to the desert and beat them up, go through snow, go through mud, go through sand, go through all the weather, and then bring them back, tear them apart, and see if anything breaks or really gets messed up on them. So 16 grand, sounds crazy, but think about it when it comes to that nature. The kit itself comes with everything you need to install them. Honestly, it looks pretty basic when you look at this table. Once we move to the other table, we'll show you everything else it comes with, but it does come with 32 spline chromoly shafts. It does come with brake lines that are steel braided. It comes with all the gussets. These are cast steel. They're gonna be strong. They're not gonna fall apart, nothing of that nature. The one thing I do like about these compared to the 74s is if something happens to these, like if you break or something, which I don't see that happening because this is so wildly thick and heavy, you could weld this. You can repair this on the trail. It's easy to fix. You know, everything on the inside, we would have to check and see what kind of bearings and things that it carries and stuff to get some extra parts. But the actual structure, I don't think it'd ever break, but if it did, you could definitely bend it back, weld it, do things of that nature. It has a breather system with it. It does have the reinforcement brackets, gives you the brake lines, pretty much everything you need to do to shift everything over from your factory Bronco and put it over here to the Werewolf setup. These are gonna give you a 35% reduction, which entails, if you do have a Sasquatch, you're at 470, it's gonna move you up to about a 634 gear reduction, which is kind of insane if you really think about it. People that re-gear really high only usually go to a 529, and what that means is your ring and pinion still stays pretty stout, and then you're getting the reduction in each box. These boxes are all 4-gear setups. It takes all the stress away from your transmission, takes the stress away from your gearbox, and then it also provides you with a lift. So these are going to give you a 5-inch lift, roughly. It is going to push your truck to be a little bit wider, which could be a good or bad thing depending on how you feel about it. In a 2-door like we're going to do, being wider with the height is going to help a lot, and it is going to help it keep it very strong. The angles are going to get fixed. I think preferably if I drive a Jeep, I'm going to do a regular traditional lift just because I feel like that's okay because it's already a straight axle. But I think in an IFS rig, now that they're easier and more available to grab, and when you look at the setup and how much it costs to get a steering rack, get the right tire rods, get uppers, lowers, all those things, I would just buy a stock Sasquatch Bronco, stick these in there. With the 10-gear transmission that you already get, these are like, it makes the Bronco work so good. Plus, you can stuff 38s on them. Factory, you don't even have to do anything else to them. You just throw this kit on, throw some 38s, use the factory performance wheels that it comes with already, and boom, you're all set. So 16K, that's the Werewolf kit. This one comes from Ukraine. The next ones are the 74 Weld Portals. So we're gonna move on to these next. If you have even looked into Portals, this is kind of the brand that pops out right away. They're the ones that were King of the Hammers. They're the ones that have been rocking their stuff on certain race trucks and whatnot. Lauren Healy uses them, Vaughn uses them. They use it on the 4600 2-door race trucks that they use. I don't know if it's the exact same setup, but 74 Weld does make their kits, and they've won a lot of championships already. So this is the true and trusted, but they did bring out a lot of applications for the market too. So Toyotas are in there, Tacoma, 4Runner. They have quite a bit of applications. They even did the new Tacoma, the new Ford Ranger Raptor. That's all in there. These are billet versus cast steel, so they're a little bit different. And you can also see, right, the quality. I mean, these are amazing pieces. Even just the cut, the rivets, everything that it has on this piece, they look expensive. You know, when you look at that, that looks like a machinery piece, something you're gonna beat up. So these are gonna give you a 22% reduction, and that adds up to 573s on a Sasquatch package. So it's still a high reduction. I mean, if you go back to how people re-gear, your ring and pinion is still gonna be big, and most people re-gear to like 519, 513, 529, and it makes everything a little bit weaker. It does come with chromoly shafts, comes with the brake lines that you need. A little bit cheaper on the brake lines. These are just rubber, where the other ones are steel braided. It does give you all the things you need also. And as you can see, this kit is a little more complex. There's a lot of more moving pieces and things of that nature that we're gonna have to touch, but it's not really that bad. Once you start looking at the instructions and what the basis of how a portal works, it's kind of simple. It's just something that's not on the market as much. Most people will go straight to a straight axle and call it a day. They'll work out how to do a Dana 60, long arm, those things. This kit is supposed to give you that type of strength, on an IFS rig. You could even put it on a Jeep. And it gives you that lift. It gives you the poke out that you want. It gets you the gear reduction, and it keeps your MPGs about the same if you follow what they say. So these do require about a 2-inch lift or some sort of body lift, spacer lift, to be able to stuff a 38 and not worry about it. But you could probably get away with the 37 right out of the box. Where those ones, because it is a 5-inch lift, it literally tells you, put these on, put 38s, and you're good. A lot of differences when it comes to the structure, the way that they work, everything is going to be about the same. The cons on this kit is they're still the same as that one. Basically, you have to go get gear oil. You have a couple things that are missing, like the M14 1.5 lug nuts that you have to put on here. So they do make these stronger, which is a plus, but it would have been nice that with $20,000, you're gonna get $100 lug nuts or $50 lug nuts to, you know, fill it in. And maybe they did it because of your rims and whatnot. You might not use them, but I wouldn't care. Honestly, I would rather see the kit come complete, especially because this one's in the US, so you can ship all the oils, you can ship all that stuff together and not have to worry about it. They do require you to maintain them basically every 3,000 miles. There is a break-in period. It's 200 miles, then you drain it, and then it's every 3,000 after that, which could be a pro and con depending on how you look at servicing. To me, kind of seems like a penny in the butt a little bit, but if you are getting that many benefits and it does really help when you're out there wheeling, I wouldn't really cry about it too much because the benefit is going to outweigh the servicing. But just like any vehicle, going underneath that frequently and having to touch stuff is probably better anyways, because you can see bolts, you can see damage, you can see things of that nature. They both require about the same maintenance, 3,000 to 4,000 miles, drain it and fill it. They use about half to a quarter in each box. It is a 75/95 here, I believe, yeah, 75/90, and that uses a 75/140, which is pretty standard for gear oil. It just really depends on what you believe in when it comes to the viscosity of heat and all that shit. This one does actually come with the final one too, so this is what they give you to put in as the final treatment, but they do ask you to go get like a cheaper oil because you're going to drain it for the break-in period. 74 Weld is here in the US. They're I think near San Diego somewhere. Quinn is the owner of that company, and then they are out of Ukraine. They're getting vendors here in the US to kind of ship the werewolves. They've been in the States for about 2 years now, and obviously now in the market, these are kind of becoming hot. This is what people are wanting to see what they do, and really trying to see if justifying that $16,000 to a $20,000 buy, because buying it in one shot is scary, man. Even myself, like looking at it and pulling the trigger on something this big and justifying it even with your partner or whatever, your bank, whoever you have to talk to pull that card, it's kind of wild. We are going to install these both on very similar Broncos, so we're going to see basically the same build. One's going to be Werewolf, one's going to be 74 Weld, and we're going to find out if really there's any weaknesses to each one of them, if the one benefits the other one any greater, and see how they do. We're gonna test them for 3 months, put them through some snow. Hopefully we get snow here in California. All right, so I mean, that's pretty much the breakdown of each one. Again, the construction is different. The aspects are all the same. There's a couple things that you have to do different with each kit. We're gonna do with installs both over one weekend, hopefully. We're gonna open up the rest of the box and see if there's anything else that we really need to worry about. This one lacks some information out the box. This one already has it, but again, this one's here in the States, which makes it easier to communicate, makes it easier to work with if you did have to talk to somebody. I don't know how their customer service is because we haven't had to make any of those phone calls, but at least you know where to find them, how to find them. Where this might get a little bit tricky, especially because they're away, in another country, away from our seas. And yeah, we're gonna start breaking these down though. We're gonna get Johnny's take on them real quick on how he feels about opening these boxes and seeing this expensive 2 tables that we have in front of us. And then we're gonna close out this video and we'll move on to the install. Both Broncos are here, both 2 doors are here, and we plan on knocking both of them out. All right, Johnny, so now that they got my take, I blab, dude. Go ahead, tell the people what you think, dude. You open both boxes. These are obviously out of our price tags.
Very out of my price tag.
What do you think?
Honestly, they're both great kits. I like both of them.
Look at Shermanator in the back, dude.
He's hiding back.
Why are you hiding, bro?
I'm staying out of the way. The packaging on the werewolves were so much better. Some of the things on it, like the brake lines, some of the
just the stuff that you notice right away.
They're like very good. Whereas the 74 Welds, obviously they look great, but packaging's kind of a little lower quality. The brake lines are a little lower quality, but you get a nicer catch can, you get oil, you get a bunch of other stuff. But overall, I like both the kits.
Yeah.
If I had 20 grand just laying around,
why not, right?
One,
Do you think any of them are gonna fail?
I hope not.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that's probably gonna have to fix it. Me and Josh are gonna be out there trying to figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, I think we're all gonna have to learn a lot.
But you know what? seeing them out of the box right now, I don't think they're gonna fail. It's gonna put a lot to make them fail.
Yeah. Same thing, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to have the portal box in front of me. Excited for the opportunity to test them. They're both stout kits. Both of them are very expensive. Both of them are moves that we don't know if you should make. We're gonna answer that question. We're gonna answer that question truthfully. Again, we're gonna put a lot of miles on them, a lot of wheeling miles, a lot of just street miles in general, all the headaches, all the grimes. We're going to give you updates on these things and really kind of break them down versus just like, oh, these are the best. You should buy these. And that's it. That's kind of what you get out of everybody else. We're going to really go beat them up. A lot of this stuff, I think it's very biased depending on which ones you own and which ones you have. We are fortunate enough to have basically every big kit that's available here in the US. These are the first two, and then we also have a 4-door Bronco that has the Tibus setup, which we'll also bring out and put a beating on. Our boy Marcus, I've actually already driven on him. He's pretty enthused about him. He likes the way those handle and have been doing really well. We don't have a set here, unfortunately. That one is a little bit different than this one, but both of these are going to do well, I think, in my opinion. I think if I was going to pull the trigger on this, the werewolf one for me is just obviously $5,000 cheaper, but just having steel to me, as pretty as these things are, I'm just too dumb, dude. I don't know enough. I know I could fix this, where this one I would probably have to replace some stuff, and it might get pretty pricey, where this is kind of just steel. As long as the inside of that box doesn't break, the systems inside of them, both of them are 4-gear. 32 spline, very strong. I don't foresee any of that stuff breaking. The benefits of portals on an IFS are ridiculous. I think there's a lot of things there that we'll talk about as we're installing them, and we'll break down some of the numbers and what it looks like there. That's it for this, man. Thank you guys for sticking around. Hopefully you guys enjoyed just the unboxing, some information. We're just a couple dumb guys trying to figure out what werewolf portals and 74 werewolf portals look like and do. And we made some phone calls, talked to some of the guys, and kind of they broke them down for us, man, and we're excited to break them down for you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to close out the video here shortly, and then we're going to get into the install. So you guys will see that next time. Alrighty, team. So we unboxed the rest of them, double-checked all the parts, pieces, make sure we had everything together to continue on with the process and the build series. There is a couple things that, first of all, we missed. First thing is the warranty. So the warranty on the werewolves is 2 years, 30,000 miles, where the warranty on the 74 wheels is 1 year on the gears and what else? The gears and hubs, and then it's lifetime on the boxes and the spindles, basically. So both of them are very beneficial depending on who you ask. It's just, again, this one is US made, and it's probably easier to get parts for until werewolf becomes more of a staple out here in the States, and then you'll be able to get parts. But this looks like a pretty simple setup. It doesn't look very complex at all, and I'm sure that they can get you parts if you need them. The next thing is, once we opened up all the boxes, we did find out that they sent us 3 front ones. So unfortunately, that sucks. We do have the other part. They just mixed it. It's in Arizona. One of the boxes got mixed. We got 3 front ones instead of 2 rears and 2 fronts. So the other one's right there. We're gonna have to ship one back. They're gonna ship one forward to us. So we'll probably be installing that a little bit later in the week, but we'll definitely knock this one out, show you the install process of this, and then we'll go back and install that separately also. I was just hoping to do both of them together in one video. That was the whole purpose of the install, but it's going to be a little bit different. We'll change it just a little bit, but we'll still show you the differences, the benefits, how one looks taller than the other, things of that nature. But the werewolf one is missing another rear one. We're going to have to bring that back. 74 welds will start here after dinner. We're going to close out this video though. Watch the next one. It'll show you the install process, everything we had to do, what it looks like before, what it looks like after. Bronco on 38s, 2-door, all that good stuff. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. Go watch the Gatekeepers podcast. Well, not go watch it. Go listen to the Gatekeepers podcast if you haven't already. And go support us, man. I got t-shirts, hats, sweaters, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time. Peace.